But until then, I'm going to continue to narrow down who these are. But could this be an opportunity to buy the rumor? Welcome back to Broke Man Finance. My name is Adam, and in this video, we are going to be discussing Zomedica and all these rumors just flying around about these acquisitions coming. We've all heard the old saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. Is this an opportunity to buy the rumor? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, for example, let's say a company has an industry-changing product, and let's just hypothetically say it's in the vet world and it rhymes with Smoothsmorma. It gets a lot of hype built into it as this anticipation builds, and then the product's finally released, it finally goes to market, and a sell-off ensues because it was completely underwhelming. Does that sound familiar, Zomedica investors? Well, Zomedica has had several green days now, and thank God for that, because we have had our share of red days, and it's nice to see a little bit of green here lately. But the reason is because there's all these rumors flying around that Zomedica is getting ready to write a fat check to someone to either acquire a company, a subsidiary, some licensing agreements, maybe it's just some products. We don't know the what, when, where, and how, but we do know that it's coming. But first off, let's take a look at why we even think this in the first place so I don't sound crazy. They have a chunk of change on hand, and Robert Cohen, the Zomedica CEO, said, as disclosed in our first quarter financials, Zomedica had a cash and cash equivalents balance of approximately $276.6 million as of March 31st, 2021. They are not planning on sitting on that much money forever. If Truforma was not out yet and they were not earning any revenue, I will be less likely to believe an acquisition is coming. I would assume that they were just going to hold that cash until their products were either getting to market or earning enough revenue that they believe that they didn't need that much in reserve anymore. Although it is helping the looks of that balance sheet right now. As you all probably know, Zomedica left their distributor a few weeks back to start their own direct sales team. I personally believe that this is going to be the best thing for Zomedica in the long run. It won't be in the short term though. It's going to take a couple quarters for this transition to happen to where they're finally really earning some revenue, because you got to think which of course investors are not going to like, because we're ready to see those numbers start pushing up, but there is a transition period that has to take place. They have to hire. That takes time. They have to train these folks. They have to get these sales made. They have to build relationships with these different vet clinics around the country. There's just a lot that has to happen, and it's going to affect a couple quarters probably, as opposed to just having a distributor like Miller pushing out the product immediately. I know they wanted to have some better numbers for their investors on the short term, but overall, this is a step in the right direction, because as new products come out or they acquire new things, they're in a better position to push things out faster. But I know that we are ready to see those numbers. We've been watching Zomedica for a while. That March rollout of Truforma was a big deal to us, and we were ready to see those numbers start rolling in. It was a very highly anticipated product. I get it. But if you're going to have a sales team, you probably want a few more products to push other than Truforma. Now, they do have some other products that are in the pipeline they have more stuff getting developed in R&D, but they are nowhere near ready for market yet. So, Zomedica announced it was hiring Greg Blair, formerly of Elanco Animal Health, for 6 years, and he had a successful career in business development, marketing, and product development at a series of human medical device companies, including Johnson & Johnson, Intuitive Surgical, and Enteromedics, I guess that's how you say it. Mr. Blair will be Vice President of Business Development. The stated reasons is he's going to lead the company's acquisition and licensing efforts. What's not a rumor is Zomedica is on the prowl for an acquisition. If they can find the right partner, the right products, it could pay off massively for early Zomedica investors. With Mr. Blair's connections to Johnson & Johnson, rumors have been flying around just like this one. Does anyone have any idea about this rumor? I found it on Twitter a few hours ago, and that tweet have disappeared. Our sources confirm rumors that Zomedica is negotiating with Johnson & Johnson to acquire DuPuis Synthes Vet Subsidiary with a cash plus stock deal. The deal will be happening around the second quarter to third quarter of 2021 and is going to allow Zomedica to acquire all rights towards its veterinary products and developments. We aren't sure which products and what kinds of rights they are discussing to acquire and what return. We'll have new facts after doing some DD. Some people has taken that and ran with it so far as to say Zomedica was trying to buy Deploy Synthesis from Johnson & Johnson just outright. Let's clear that up right now. Never ever going to happen. It will be impossible. There is no way that Zomedica could afford anything even close to that. Johnson & Johnson paid billions on billions for that thing, and that was a decade ago. They were paying that. And it's primarily a human, not animal, orthopedic medical devices company, from my understanding. However, could they buy the animal branch side or at least acquire some of the products? Now that is interesting, and I think is completely possible. But let's look at that a little bit closer, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Do you think this is a real rumor to buy into, or do you think it's complete BS? J&J could be looking to offload their animal branch. If we're talking, I keep saying I think it's Deploy, I believe, but I'm not completely sure. But if I'm saying that right, we are talking about 13 products. If we're talking about the other branch of animal products under the umbrella of J&J, we're talking about Ethicon, and then we're talking about 17 products, but I'm pretty sure we're just talking about Deploy at this point. Now, J&J has ran into some patent infringement issues in the past over some of those products, and another one more recently with a trial set for March of 2022. Is it possible that Zomedica is looking to acquire the Deploy Synthesis vet subsidiary from Johnson & Johnson? Yeah, I think so, depending on what kind of value is placed on that subsidiary. If it's too much and they can't afford it, I could certainly see them trying to acquire certain particular products from them if they can't afford the whole thing. Plus, how much of that cash reserve are they willing to burn through? Because any kind of acquisition, they got a chunk of cash on hand, they do, but if they're looking to do a massive acquisition, it's going to be expensive. So how much are they willing to burn through? Because that's one of the only things, that's one of the best looking things on that balance sheet right now. Or this thing could just all be completely fabricated. But look at it from this perspective. They have all that cash on hand. They're wanting to do something with it. They brought in Blair for a particular reason. They have said, hey, we are looking for acquisitions and we are looking to license more products. They're wanting more revenue earners. J&J are going through patent infringement stuff now with their animal side. Lord knows they've had enough issues with their vaccine shot. And then you add in the fact of the Blair connection with Johnson & Johnson, and it just makes sense. Now, could they come out of left field with a completely different acquisition? Absolutely. But this one does make a lot of sense. So I'm going to keep my eye on it a little bit closer, and I hope I can bring you more news on it. And if there's something I'm leaving out, if there's something that you've already heard or dispelled, then by all means, please let me know in the comment section below. But until then, I'm going to continue to narrow down who these are. But could this be an opportunity to buy the rumor? I think so. But I do know this. Zomedica is finally seeing some green days, and I can dig it. If you can dig it too, then give me that like, give me that subscribe, and I hope Zomedica goes to the moon for all of us. I hope you take care, and I hope everyone stays safe.